I am also going to start my own recording just so we have two in case one of ours fails. In 3, 2, 1. I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
Oh, explain. I need elaborate.
Yeah, how do
Uh, you are deep within enemy territory. It is. You are currently undergoing combat simulations. I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
Again, elaborate.
Right.
I think it means what we're rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The question.
There's
My
no
apologies.
There's no standard initiative in this game. It's all
I
bespoke.
was like, I thought this was
Me looking through the book. Where is this?
hold
I
on.
don't remember.
Control F.
Yeah. Let's
You're
make sure I have that.
What's next?
Correct.
You're gonna ask me to roll for hammers?
Roll for hammers. Hold on.
hammers.
Let's see. 2d6 for hammers.
Boy.
Oh, I got boxcars on hammers. I am not
Ooh.
using these dice tonight.
No,
Oh,
you got the bad
hammers.
luck out of them. Now they're guaranteed to roll well.
Okay, I'll try them for next roll. See what happens.
Oh, you should learn already. Don't trust me. That was a test.
Yeah, Fripp has notoriously bad luck with rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did mess. Okay. 3, 2, 1. They're deep within the void of space. There is a satellite floating. You see the stars sort of in the backlight. There's a gentle beep, 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 and then through a flash, a beam strikes through it. Everyone, you are currently under combat simulations. As per your order, you will go through whoever has the highest maneuver stat. So if everyone could just give me that.
Mine's 4.
4.
I got pulled away.
0.
Oh,
I got pulled away. What was
0?
that?
Maneuver
highest
stat.
maneuver stat.
I don't have maneuver.
Oh,
Okay,
So
in that
our
case,
options are 4 or none.
I will.
apparently.
We will go through Paradox, Vin, Frep, then Goatmine. So let's just put that here.
right.
Frep. Currently, Beam, in spite of not being used to simulations, you're currently tucked away. Pilots you're unfamiliar with. Somebody who you've been told is going with you for this mission, this particular mission, but somebody who you've never met until you were cramped here in this very dark simulation box with them.
Okay. Guess I'm
You-
just there as a ride along, ride along because it's like in a simulation. I don't suspect I'll be doing very much. Walker frames are something for these military types, and I don't really have much need or patience for them.
You're actually not in a walker frame, you're in a fighter. The pilot in front of you sort of goes, first time, sir?
No. Which is a
Really?
lie.
Really figured you fed boys when you fed figured feds wouldn't really find time to get airtime.
You'd be surprised.
Well, listen, even though technically neither of us really outrank each other, different districts. I'll let you take lead here. Give her a whirl, considering everything we're going to go through.
Oh no! First, not my first time riding one of these things. I leave the stick jockeying to the professionals.
I'm saying you can tell me what to do, sir. But if you're really uncomfortable, I have plenty of experience with her, with this old girl, and she sort of pats the wheel.
Okay, I will leave it in your capable hands.
She sort of, the lady in front of you then pulls the mic to her. Testing, testing. Sergeant, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, WO.
Reporting.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Aye.
Good. We, at any moment, we should be coming up on the target and, Paradox.
Yes.
Make me a, yeah, you see in front of you a beam rifle sort of shoot past you. This is immediately going to be wait. This is going to immediately be a move action on your part, unless if you want to tank it.
I'm trying to remember which my ace is to. Sure, right. Ace. Okay, I think that does apply to this. Speed, walker frame, 6. I will be using move. Right. No, that's fine. So I wanted to be okay. 7 successes.
7 successes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that
You're able to essentially, so you're sort of using what can best be described as a replacement model.
Mhm.
You sort of had to custom input the specs of your machine in, and it looks a little wonky from the outside, let's say, or in the simulation proper, but you're able to essentially jerk down the beam flies past you. And then right above you, you see a buffer sort of glide by you and into your front lines. A buffer piloted by none other than the head of the operation, than the head of the Walker Frame team. And Captain Logue, a man you've never properly nor formally met. This is actually sort of your first time seeing him, and he is shooting at you. That's going to be his turn. On to you, Paradox.
Eileen, likely taking note of how the walker frame feels, would decide to. I'm guessing I still have the same loadout that my regular walker frame would have, or am I
Mhm.
using a separate loadout? All right. So, seeing them pass by, she basically fire the super bazooka. What range are we at actually?
Currently you'd be at medium range.
Okay, yeah. Then I basically try to pop him with the super bazooka. We're getting shot.
Okay, make sure I have this correct.
Which buffers?
This
Load.
is
Oh, yeah.
bog standard M5A3. This is a 50-year-old machine.
Right, 3 successes.
Say that again, Paradox.
3 successes.
Okay. In that case, you see the buffers barely dodge. The sim environment is very much a clear space. Trying to go for the environment of which you would face Walker frame combat. Also not typically the environment in which Walker frames are typically accustomed to, which would be colony fighting. The buffers ahead of you, this sort of green blur, it almost dances around the rocket and just completely passes you, almost as if it didn't notice you.
Fine.
And that's going to be your turn, Paradox, onto Vincent.
Yes.
So it's my turn now?
Mhm.
Okay. So in his cockpit, Lieutenant North has just sort of watched this brief exchange of fire with the like the sights of his what range is it for me, by the way? My target?
I'm going to say that you would all have been standardly grouped together when you were quote unquote spawned. So this would also for you be medium range.
Okay. So he's just kind of like watching it with the sights for his 150 millimeter beam cannon. And you know, as it like dances around the shots and when it sort of like slows down to a more normal flight path, he zeroes in the sights and just wordlessly fires off a shot.
Okay, that's going to be a standard. For you, that's going to be a standard shot tact.
Okay. That's a 15. Let's see. That fell on the floor. Different dice. Not bad. Not bad. All right. That was a 15 to hit. I got a 7. That is 9 successes.
9 successes. Okay. Okay, just barely. You're able to sort of you see Captain Logue essentially not taking this fight too seriously, you notice, and in that you're able to get a quick shot off. And how much damage is that?
The damage is listed as 8C.
Okay. Yep. In that case, it smashes straight into the shield, almost like tearing apart part of the arm. You see Loke himself properly sort of get blasted back, and yet somehow he's still able to. His machine is still able to stand the now slag shield taking the brunt of the force. You hear over comms, we're not supposed to do these, but fuck it. Jesus.
All you hear over comms is just a small laugh.
The Baffers abandons the shield and the scraps of armor with it. and continues on its now less majestic, a bit more serious flight. And that's going to go on to Frep. You and the Aardvark are currently sort of looking in the background of all this. You see the fighting go on above you. Oof. You think you can get used to this, sir?
If I have to, I suppose. I don't plan on spending much time sitting in the back seat if I can avoid it.
The sims aren't really good for the EW. For EW simulation. You want to sit this one out or try and have some fun?
I mean, if nothing else, I guess I have a prime seat to watch the proceedings.
We'll be targets soon enough, and if all goes according to plan, you shouldn't have to sit back there for too long. At least you should
There's
be
a
on your
very
feet.
different way one could read that sentence of like, we'll be targets soon. With luck, you won't sit back there very long. I'm like, I'm comforted by your words. Again, just just lying my ass off. My God.
Relax, Fed. It's going to be fine. I've been flying with the cap for, what is it, 3 years now? You're in no better hands in the Federation, sir.
All right, I'll leave it to you.
As she says this, by the way, you see Captain Logue eat shit through that bazooka blast.
Bazooka round. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm covering this with like. It's not that I'm nervous about being in danger. It's that I'm here as just a passenger. This is not a comfortable situation. Like this is so far out of my purview. So I'm being a bit, I guess, being a bit snippy. Carry on.
Let's make sure. The Aardvark passes their turn and sort of moves away from the combat area, ironically getting a better view of the so-called action. Garnier.
Yeah.
It is now your turn.
I don't have a walker frame. I don't have anything. I'm not a pilot. Honestly, I don't know where I am and why I'm here.
All you know is you must kill?
No, all I know is that I must complain.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
All I know is I must
He
kill.
is enlisted.
yeah, like who cares what these stick jockey officers think?
That's the thing. Currently, you're in a shuttle next to the Aardvark. You're acting as the so-called transportations in the simulation.
Thing is, that makes no
Wait,
sense. Why,
You
if
got
this
to
is
get
a
in shuttle
simul,
and I got crammed in the back into a park?
Not,
Who do I have to yell at? This is bullshit.
no, my real question is, if they're doing this shit, why do we have to be here, Mr. Beam? And why
That's
do
a great question.
we all turn to tired? Yeah, God, why do we have to be here when we're not pilots?
Maybe God wants us to suffer.
you see the captain say over comms. Listen, you're going to be in these situations in the mission itself. We want you to be prepared to be sitting ducks when you're going to actually be sitting ducks.
Sir, I've been in more combat than you have. I think I can handle myself.
And handle yourself.
Well, all we're doing over here is sitting around watching you two hit each other with beams.
Does that mean you skip your turn, Gomine?
I go into wait to act.
Wait to act.
What to act? Gonna ram them.
Yes, whenever I can get inside of a walker frame, I will do violence. Until then, I am just brimming with it.
Now that we're moving back to moving back to the Beffers proper, you see the suit now with a invigorated spite look over to the shuttle. Aiming its beam rifle, it takes a quick shot and then moves past.
Love the shuttle stats.
It's
Oh,
mobility 4,
we're
reactor
going-
2, systems 2, nimble 1. Does
going-
Vogue succeed? What happens?
It's the successes. Do you try to dodge?
Yeah, and I got one failure.
One failure. The beam rifle cuts through the shuttle, and you all see your screen goes immediately black, and the little door opens up above you.
Yeah, I get out immediately without even really thinking about it. Like, what a waste of fucking time.
That's going to put you back to Paradox.
Eileen probably just looks over at the explosion. Oh, I guess they're gone now. And aims at the Beffers to shoot it again with the bazooka. She kept following it as soon as possible to try to keep in range with it. I'm pretty sure I keep up with the Beffers.
Oh yes, of course you keep up with the Beffers. This is, despite how I've been describing its movements, this is a very slow machine. I mean, it's not an entirely slow machine, but it's an old machine. You're
Gotcha.
easily able to keep pace.
All right, well then I will shoot it again with the bazooka.
Okay, make that roll.
That's actually a really good roll. That is 7 successes.
7 successes. It's not even once the Beffers gets the transport shot off, you just come up behind it, and then one pull of the trigger, end of Sims for everyone. The door opens.
As soon as Eileen gets out, she's immediately like not writing but like typing on like like a almost like an iPad or something, but like bigger.
Yeah, an 80s iPad.
Yeah, essentially an 80s iPad, and she's just writing down as much as she can about the fight, kind of entirely engrossed in that.
The captain gets out, sort of just hopping out. The point of the Sim Sergeant is so that when we're actually transporting you lot through, the walker frames are able to accompany the transports and get them out alive. Despite the fact that was a kill, that was also a complete loss, because that means that in a normal combat scenario, both you and potentially our Fed are both going to be KIA.
I turned to look to the pilots. Yeah, what about that?
North just kind of like he hadn't come out of the thing yet, but he just kind of like lets the cockpit thing hiss open, um, like kicks off from it. I'm assuming they're in like low gravity, right, or zero gravity.
Mhm.
Okay. And he just navigating the zero gravity in the kind of efficiency and elegance that only someone like born in space really could, just kind of like goes right up by the sergeant and just stretches and yawns and is like, well, you are kind of presenting a rather promising target just being out there in the open like that.
And go where?
I
It's open
suppose it's
space.
just
Sure, it's open space. What am I supposed to do? It's a walker frame.
he just kind of yawns again and he's like, more evidence that the future of soldiering is piloting.
Eileen just kind of looks away from the big iPad for a second. Has Federation thought of making better shuttles?
That's a good one.
We have the power to make these walker frames move faster, but we can't make shuttles that are able to at least dodge?
Mm.
Hey,
The
don't look at me.
positioning and safety of the shuttles is not just up to the engineers, it's up to us.
Not up
When
to
we're-
me.
We just
Eileen
need to-
just kind of looks at him and just says, well, if there's a walker frame pilot who decides, fuck my own life, they can try to get past us as fast as possible and simply shoot off a beam and immediately kill the shuttle. If the shuttle doesn't have the mobility to get out of the way, then there's really nothing I can do besides hope that I can kill them in the first shot.
Yeah,
I-
generally speaking, I can kill things in the first shot.
I will admit I may have gone a bit more suicidal than I would have liked to, due to some previous comments, but my point still stands that perhaps we just need to look out for the little guy.
Astral just kind of like crosses his arms, the camera making it incredibly obvious that out of everyone here, he is in fact 5'2".
Eileen just kind of begins typing in the iPad again. You aren't wrong, Captain. I will take note of this.
Good, because we're getting the presentation soon. And we can all give proper introductions. This is a good first training. It's also going to be our only one, considering that our estimated time of arrival is going to be tomorrow. Just he sort of just the man a bit not taken aback, but he's definitely, how would you say, flushed. Leaves the room, kicks himself off one of the sims, and goes off into other parts of the ship. You would all know that you're heading straight into the territory of colonial Saturn. You've taken off from Mars and are making your way into what you presume is going to be into Jovian territory. You all have a rough idea of what your mission is going to be, some better than others. Beam would have the best idea, and as the one briefed previously on the mission. But later today is supposed to be a proper introduction. You also see the adjutant get out as well. That didn't go as expected.
I-
Excuse my asking. Thanks, serious ma'ams. But do any of you know what the spook is doing here?
It's a spook. I have no clue.
I look
It's
at North.
supposed to be in charge of handing off this operation to the military.
Oh,
which
is that
seems to be-
me?
Huh? No, I was because there's
Wait, what does
silence
that
and
mean?
you don't know what a spook is?
I'm sorry. I told you I'm stupid.
Oh, a spook is slang for intelligence not even officer, just like CIA types.
Oh, okay. I'd know that. That's Vincent being stupid, not my character not knowing. North just shrugs and he's like, I don't get paid enough to know. Doesn't make me any more comfortable with him around though.
I was just going to respond as soon as you said I'm not paid enough to know, and that's the attitude I want to hear.
Works for me.
You're
Sure I'll know more when I can, if I can.
Well, it better be soon. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
What the briefing's for.
Yeah, but we're hitting Saturn tomorrow. We have no time to rehearse
This-
anything.
This is a quick out of character. I don't know. I have no idea. This isn't me just lying for effect. This is me furiously buying time. Hey, look! I feel I'm about to know more. 'Cause I got a DM. I'll get back to you on that.
Eventually you hear a voice over the intercom that anyone, essentially all on board except for all on board barring crew, are called over to the sort of galley room for the for the overall briefing of the mission.
Well, that's convenient timing.
I suppose that's where I'm heading then.
In lieu of anything better to do, I will also go attend. I feel like I stand out here with like everyone else's military. I'm probably wandering around in like a slight. Now, thanks being crammed in the simulator, for a slightly like rumpled suit.
Eileen at this point is like not paying attention to anything else. She's like full engrossed in typing things out.
Have I like spent any time around these people much, or is this are we all sort of still new to each other here?
So getting into the introduction proper, it was about 3 days prior when everyone here was essentially assigned bl- when everyone here essentially got their new assignment, being shipped to Mars and then Saturn. This would be not the first time you've talked to any of these people, but this would not be the first time you've talked to any of these people, but you would not know anybody here more than a day or two.
Okay. And
Everything's
North-
been a bit. For a military operation, everything's been a lot quieter than it should. And it brings an air of both of either suspicion or incompetence. And you're not quite sure what yet.
I have a pretty good idea. It's incompetence.
North has just kind of been keeping to himself for the past couple days, spending a lot of time mostly just with his walker frame. Either just like running little like tune-ups in the cockpit or just like spending time in there in general. No one really knows what he's doing in there. He's just in there. Um, he's not very sociable. He's not either entirely sure why he was picked for this mission, um, or necessarily what all the details are. If anybody gave him a more detailed briefing, he probably skimmed over it until he found the part that told him what he was supposed to be shooting at and if he could bring his machine. So he knows what he needs to know in his mind.
The galley room proper is a neatly set up arrangement. There's, it's sort of, if you've ever been to a university classroom, it's sort of like that. The seats themselves are layered, one on top of the other, in sort of a stair-like row. In front, there's a much smaller area for the presenter alongside a table and a projector. It's a very basic setup, a very quaint one, and not a very large one either. I'd say overall, with everyone cramped in the room side by side, even then it would still only be about 20 people total. The Beam, you would be set up next to a woman of similar stature, sort of in the corner. The pilots themselves, shuttle, walker, and fighter pilots included, would all be in the front, which would have been everyone in that room except for Beam. You see everyone sort of talking amongst each other, the room sort of going still as a man enters. A man who you all would know as a man you all would know as Colonel Markovic. He's half a like, he's been serving. You'd all know Colonel Markovic is not a veteran, but a longtime member of the SFSA. And if everyone wants to, they can roll a. If anyone wants to, they can roll a keen politics. He's not a big figure,
Two
a very important
successes.
one either. 2 successes.
2 successes well.
Okay, I will. Sorry, I had to run downstairs. The fan was on. But I will roll 1 second. So it's keen politics.
Keen politics.
Yeah, that's total failure. Eight failures.
8 failures?
Yes,
Jeez.
I have a 0 in politics.
Eileen, you
Um,
have. This is the first time you've ever heard of this man's name.
What do we me and Beam know?
2 successes.
Yeah, what do the rest of us know? We all got 2 successes exactly.
Oh wow.
Very funny. Significant
Uh,
on that.
Beam, you would know this because of your bit more extended research on him. Azrael, you'd know this for a very different reason. Colonel Colonel Markovic is even though he hasn't had a huge reputation in the larger like inner politics of in the larger inner politics of the inner colonies or even of Mars, this man has spent a decade in peacekeeping missions in the belt. He has
Interesting.
mostly seen combat against what the Federation would not deem explicitly terrorist, but definitely rebel groups and militias. He's been in the SFSA since about the year 300, making this his 25th year in service. And he has also seen some time in Saturn, but to a lesser extent. He sort of taps his fingers against the table, leans over. I know you all are wondering why you are here right now. And to get any cliche lines off the table, I will allow any and all questions before we begin. Just so you all have a baseline.
It's an oddly open attitude.
Somebody raises their hand.
And
Sorry, okay, so just to clarify, I am somebody who sometimes has to take a moment to, how do you say, process the next sentence?
Understandable.
All good.
So even with my notes, I kind of somebody asked him what any of them are even doing here, and he turns on the projector. He turns on the projector, and you all see the hint of a bluish hue moon. Not really even bluish, more of a gray scale. Paranoia. We are all here because of paranoia. 3 weeks ago, a formal investigation by the FIS, he holds his hand over to Mr. Beam, concluded that through both hands-on means and other explicit measures, which we will not all label out here today, but we will on a later date, will tomorrow. There is no later date. This is all.
Beam clears his throat.
Yes.
Necessity in everyone finding out the methods.
Trust me, you lot like to keep to yourselves, and we here will all respect that. Anyhow, 3 weeks ago, it was detected that a unusual amount of energy was coming from coming somewhere from the core of Europa. This was detected because the ocean of the underwater ocean of Europa's surface was heating up by a degree comparable to that of large-scale industry of the pre-blip. Large-scale industry of the Common Era. this has begun forming primitive lakes on the surface of Europa, all across the moon. Some of which are reaching the scale even comparable to some of which are even reaching the scale comparable to even the smallest seas of Earth, or the smallest Great Lakes of Earth. Now, over the expanse of the moon, this isn't incredibly large in scale, but given the amount of heat dedicated to create such a event, there has to be some form of large-scale industry going beneath the planet, the likes of which we've never seen, given the fact it is heating up at a rate of 0.11 Fahrenheit per year.
What's Fahrenheit?
It's a old school system. My apologies. It's it's something more common in the Jovian Union than
Wait,
what
what
you're used to
tire?
in Celsius.
I
So
don't-
what's the confusion?
No, no. Why was anyone using imperial units? And
So go mine.
yeah,
It's translated.
yeah, but we have Celsius in English, so
What I'm getting at, to continue onwards, now you may think that this is a strange occurrence on the oceans, on the surface of Europa, that could be explained by any number of things. You could think that whatever potential cause this could be is not worth the time and effort we'd put into an operation of this scale. And you would be correct. This operation was not undergone by the SFSA. This operation was commissioned by federal officials who have seen statistics like this undergone by the operation of 3 weeks prior by the FIS. Thank you very much, Mr. Beam. And the statistics gained from here, such as which we've seen, have led to the creation of this operation.
Eileen raises her hand.
Yes.
So, this is a side operation, not by the federal officers?
How do I put this in terms? This is a operation. This in essence, while the military is on paper in strict control of this, in strict control of this operation, a larger part of its funding and existence comes from outside forces, mainly corporate entity and political entities, which have anxiety over the numbers which we've just shown you.
Understood, sir.
To put it blankly, a lot. He just sort of waves his hand. What we're all here today to do is that whatever source is creating this abundance of heat and whatever source is creating now on top. Sorry, let me recompose myself. This is just mostly first session. First session awkwardness, I suppose, is one way to put it. On top of the data I've already presented you, we've also seen what was also gathered in the original FIS investigation has also been the numerous and widespread further transportation of what can only be assumed as Jovian manufacturing deeper into the oceans of Europa. Now, this initial investigation was sadly cut short due to the loss of various agents who looked into the matter. But what we do know is that whatever is causing this sort of whatever is causing the mass industrialization of Europa's ocean floor is also causing the incredible heat that's leading to these oversurface lakes. Some incredible amount of effort is being put in part on the Jovians, and we truthfully do not know exactly what. This is where you come in. We've gathered a team consisting of multiple shuttle pilots, walker frame pilots, and various other agents, which we're deeming as Selkie, SLK, because we want you to, well, do our job for us.
And that is, sir.
We need enough men on the ground, given the loss of agents from last operation, to get back into Europa proper and collect enough information on what is happening. We need you to go there. Whatever is down there, we need to see with our own eyes. Because truthfully, paranoia aside, whatever is causing enough energy to almost match the large-scale industrialization of Earth in its common era is of interest to the Federation no matter what it is. If this is some Jovian, God forbid, super weapon, or some Jovian manufacturing project, then we need to get ahead of it, and we need to get ahead of it now.
North just kind of like raises his hand.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, is this a get in and find information mission, or is this a get in and blow shit up mission? Because one of these things I am much better at than the other.
The use of lethal force has been authorized for this mission. If what
That
you
is what I
find,
needed to hear.
if what you find is deemed what we have officially called irreparable beyond reasonable control, then you have full authorization to destroy it, to destroy what you find before it gets out of hand. If what we're saying is correct, and the secrecy of whatever is being held in whatever facility, factory, or anything else is true, then then it is of utmost importance to destroy it rather than leave it and come back with that information. It also means that the Jovians want to hide this as much as we want to find it.
I raise my hand.
Yes, Sergeant.
Would I be correct in presuming that the Federation will not come to our aid in the case any of us are captured?
That would be entirely correct. Once we enter once we enter the space of colonial Saturn, officially all of you will be officially on record discharged from the Federation. You will be on your own through and through. We do not want to cause a space war here. Whatever you do will be your own actions on record. This is also why your head of command. This is why the head of command for Walker Frame pilots, captain, your very own captain, is going to be piloting a Beffers rather than a federal rather than a federal frame. Is there anything? Are there any other questions pertaining to the mission as a whole?
Yeah, I suppose. And he just kind of like sits back in his chair again, and he's like, "Okay, what if everything goes to shit and I have to get out? Is there
Goes
going
to
to be
shit.
anybody waiting on the other side?"
There is an escape plan, be it you are able to retrieve the information. We will have federal forces on the border of colonial Saturn waiting for you. However, if things go snafu, like you're implying, then it is expected that you are either to make it to colonial Saturn on your lonesome or to take your own life before capture.
I raise my hand.
Yes.
If we're supposed to get to Europa, what are we doing in Saturn? And
What else would you be doing in Saturn?
fighting the
That's a great
Reds?
question, Sergeant.
Also, wouldn't it be easier just to hop the border into the belt from Jupiter?
We've decided that Saturn would be the better place to hop the border, given what we will be explaining just after. We found you an entry point into revolutionary Saturn. The idea is that you will be is that recently Jovish Muslims on their way from their great journey have been illegally hopping transports through and far between colonial Saturn and revolutionary Saturn. If you're able to sneak into one of their transports on their way home, then you will be able to get into revolutionary Saturn essentially scot-free. Now, this operation is, by colonial standards, illegal. So any and all conflict you might see on the side of Federals is to be handled at your own discretion. Once you make it to revolutionary Saturn proper, you should be able to find transport straight to Jovian space and eventually into the heart of Europa itself. We've, of course, made sure that everybody on the Go team, that everybody on Selkie proper has enough identification to make their way through Jovian space perfectly fine. As long as documentation hasn't changed in the next 6 months, which, considering how Jovian politics go, is very possible.
Oh, that's real reassuring.
And how do you think it feels on my end?
I mean, he could say that, but he's not the one being launched into like unknown space where the plan is get yourself out or shoot yourself. So I don't blame anyone for not having a whole lot of sympathy for this guy right now. Just making sure I understand this. So we have to find our own way onto one of these, like,
No, we have the
or we got plans to like rendezvous with one, and we have the fake credentials we need to get our way onto them.
you have exactly the credentials you need to actually get your way onto one of these transports. We're actually in luck. A lot of Jovian Muslims are the friendly type. They allow they allow refugees from Saturn to be smuggled onto their own transports and into Revolutionary Saturn proper. If you just disguise yourself as one of these refugees, then well, that's the story.
I look around. Sir. I don't speak any Cronian. How am I supposed to pose as a Cronian refugee when I don't speak any Cronian?
I don't either, sir.
We have a basic we have a basic list of we we will teach you basic Cronian phrases to say on your journey, but if all goes to plan, then you shouldn't have the need to speak too much Cronian on your own. And especially given the Saturn's relationship, given its current state in the war, the idea of you needing to pass as specifically Cronian may not need to be an option either.
Would it be possible that I might speak some? Or at least be like familiar enough to hold a simplistic conversation?
It won't be unrealistic.
Okay. Then sure, I'll say that I can do that. Um, North just kind of shrugs and he's like, I guess if you guys trust me, I can do some of the talking. As long as they don't want to engage me in an incredibly detailed dissection of art and film, I should be able to handle it.
See, this is why the exact piloting method of the operation is going to be handled by you lot, but this is also why we have your captain and of course your FIS and of course the FIS official here with you as well. They will be doing the majority of the negotiations of getting inside. It's a hard ordeal, but a much easier one than you'd think if you know the right people.
And know which palms to grease.
Exactly. That being said, we are entering the most dangerous place in Seoul currently. An active war zone, which I'm sure plenty of you have already fought in yourselves. What I'm getting at is that you should expect for the worst at all times. There's a reason why this is the safest way into Saturn, is because this is the most dangerous place in the system. It's not exactly like there's going to be a lot of checking when the cities are being captured left and right.
I have a question, Tired.
But who isn't? Mhm.
This is not Nicholas talking. This is Gomine talking.
Yes.
Where are we whose territory are we crossing into?
Sorry, I am just checking my notes real quick, making sure I don't get this wrong.
So how about them cubbies?
In reference to?
Oh, you don't the Cubs?
Is this
Jordan
a?
might just be filling airtime.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Sorry.
You'd be crossing. Bli- Uh, actually, you'd be crossing into Jean Cole, from a recent, from a nearby. You'd be crossing into Jean Cole from one of the from a mining colony near the rigs.
So communist territory.
Mining colony. Oh joy.
Just like home.
Yeah, I really want to be reminded of that all the time.
Out of curiosity, how sound does this plan sound? Like, is it reasonable to assume that we'll be able to fall in with these ships and no one's going to be looking very closely, or is this a case of operations thrown together at the last minute and they're kind of hoping for the best?
What you can get is that this sounds like one idea out of many that were possibly thrown around just from your background. You can assume that the idea of this being dangerous in of itself, the issue wouldn't actually be getting on board and disguising yourself as like a federal refugee. Unfortunately, on your side of the war, those are not entirely unheard of to begin with. And the idea of posing as a Jovian Muslim is also not impossible either. These flights are technically illegal, but given the importance of a trip to Earth as a Jovian Muslim, they're relatively common. And so, like, passing on to one, even though illegally, would be by far the easiest one to do. The issue is actually on your side of the border. If this mission is supposed to be as hush hush as the previous one, which you were assigned, which you were told about, then the Federals have a tendency to patrol colonial space. And so actually running into issues from Federal fighter pilots or even Walker frame pilots isn't out of the possibility.
Well, couldn't we just hail them at that point and have them bring us in?
Yes, but then you'd have to do the whole song and dance over again. That, and you'd have to get them to believe you.
Well,
Well, yeah,
are we
wasn't
not
that
in
what
a
Mr.
position to set
Beams
up
Isn't that what Mr. Beam is for?
I feel like that's a pretty reasonable precaution that we have a way to essentially wave off any patrol that's going to intercept us,
Mhm.
at least from the Federals.
I am curious about our walker frames. Would they not be checking for those?
And I was about to ask.
If you haven't seen the current state of the war, everything has been moving very fast at a very rapid rate, which we personally, which as somebody who has been here for the past few years, if there's any time you'd be able to smuggle in a cargo container without questions being asked, this would be about the only window you'd have. Especially given the sort of lax nature of some of the revolutionary groups.
I see.
Nicholas would think that's odd, considering the fact that, you know,
We almost need a cover where it looks like we're smuggling in walker frames on behalf of the revolutionary groups. 'Cause if we
yeah,
can wave off the Federal, our only chance of being stopped are by the revolutionaries. So maybe a cover
Yes.
story for that might be.
It all seems very strange to me because, you know, as someone who doesn't really care about what's happening in Saturn, you know, I just only know the official line that there hasn't been any major battles in a while, and that the borders haven't changed very much in the last, I don't know, 6 years.
Is that in character?
Yes, because, you know, if you look at a map, as you know, because, you know, the only combat I care about is what's happening in the belt, because, you know, that's my area of operation. So I don't really give a shit what the Cronians are up to in Ninth Fleet. And, you know, but if I was just look at a map and it's like the border hasn't changed in 6 years, what's so wrong?
The maps that have been of public use, even of wider military to anybody not on the current colonial front, are a bit outdated. And he sort of chokes saying that. I'd say this would be an opportunity for a roll if anybody.
Just how much are we lying to people at this point? Because I assume it's a lot of like, unless we have like guaranteed 100% reports that we've totally lost an area, it's like we haven't recolored that bit of the map yet. It's bad for morale.
Just to not step on, just to go. I mean, you can tell me if I'm out of line here. But at this point, even though it's not like total defeat, it's far from stray the idea that the borders haven't moved at all. Things are definitely moving in the position that favors revolutionary Saturn, and it's definitely a decently active front at this point. Thank you, Gomine.
Think, you know, for our viewers who don't know a lot about tension, so think Vietnam circa 1971.
I was gonna use that example, but I was gonna. Thank you.
Things are about to crumble relatively soon, all things told.
Yeah, the federal maps, the official maps you've gotten outside of Saturn proper are a bit outdated. That's all. You'll all be given more recent versions to prepare yourselves for the incoming operation.
Okay.
He sort of just side eyes you, Beam, but doesn't say anything else on that topic. And this would be for anybody else this would be I would say a keen empathy, but that is a keen empathy or a keen investigate, depending.
I think I have horrible empathy, but I do have good investigate. Hold on. Yeah, my empathy is 0, but my investigate is 3. Sure, let's try that.
I got 1 failure.
Am I supposed to roll for this or no?
No, Beam. You would know the current state of the war.
Okay.
Uh-oh, I just changed the name of threshold calculator to 8. There we
My
go.
apologies. I was yeah.
Ah, yes, my favorite part of
Um,
the cheat of the character sheet. 8.
3 successes on my 8.
You mean in your 8?
I have, oh yes, I have 3 successes
Rolling for
keen
hammers
investigate.
using the 8
Roll for
function.
hammers. I have a D8. I could roll a D8 for hammers. God, at some point I gotta just like give into the bit and play a character who uses a giant fucking hammer, so my attack rolls can be roll for hammers.
Well,
Direct
like in that.
quotes by Way circa.
Wait, like in the origin?
I guess. I mean, I could do a Gundam hammer.
The context of
think
rolling
that's-
for hammers is it's a mechanic that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, I know. I gotta make it real.
No, that's fair enough. I thought maybe there's just a deep thing. This is the second or third time I've heard rolling for hammers. I was confused. Like I knew it wasn't a mechanic, but I didn't know what the source of the joke was. And I am
Something to
Snoopy
do
bastard.
with
Killing that guy with
kill
kill
someone
that
with yeah.
kill that guy with
Oh,
hammers.
okay.
I think
Miss.
actually the origin of Roll for Hammers was something that wasn't recorded, which
That was a random mention by the way. I was like randomly roll for hammers.
and then I've just kept saying it in every fucking game since at least once. Because my style of humor, if you haven't noticed, is I find something I think is funny and then I beat it to fucking death and then I bring it back to life and I beat it to death again.
I guess you're
With a
beating with
hammer.
hammers.
Exactly. See, you get it.
Like how
That poor
two of us
fucking
are saying-
horse.
Pardon?
Oh, that poor fucking horse.
I think you really can't be termed a horse anymore. I think.
Rolling for horses.
Yes, please
Okay.
roll for horses.
6 horses on my 2d6.
I got a 7.
You have more
Okay, you got a
horses than
7.
me.
This is already a small room. I don't want 13 horses in here.
Paradox, how many horses are...
Oh,
Unless
God.
if you do not want to roll for this one.
I rolled 5 horses.
5 horses, great.
Hold your horses, all 5 of them.
I'm rolling for hammers again so I can kill Vinny. That's 6 hammers.
No, I just made this character.
Based on your rolls,
Well, that means
I'm
you
going
haven't
to
had
say...
time to get attached then.
Go mine, you have 6 horses, right?
Yes, I rolled 6 horses. Also, we are
Is this a
Okay,
mechanic
we're
now?
no, we're just super sidetracked.
Far off topic.
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
Y'all are good. This entire session has sort of been side... But anyways, Vinny,
Yes.
you would... So starting from you to Gomine to Paradox, you would all have that in that order, varying degrees of things are we weren't being told the whole truth about what's going on in Saturn.
The military lie Never.
Yeah, Azrael North. He's
Listen,
not
it was
even really
need to know, and
surprised.
none of you needed to know.
This is sort of like confirming things he's been suspicious about.
Oh,
You know,
goddamn.
like, okay, well, of course they haven't been telling me the whole truth.
It's the
And if anything,
military.
that kind of assuages his worries, you know? Um, like, okay, at least they're being blatantly obvious about the fact that they fucking lie to us all the time.
How common is this for me to see this from Nordak?
What is that, Paradox?
I said, how common is Nordak to just keep things from her?
Why are we talking about Nordac's heavy industry? For, the viewers who don't know what's going on.
Keela is a test pilot from Nordak, although she is currently a liaison or officially in the federal military.
And what is Nordact heavy industry?
God, what aren't they? They are a Walker frame producer, among many other things, if I remember correctly. But that is like one of their important roles is to make Walker frames, aside from Lunatech.
I see.
Oh no, I lost tension and soul.
Oh no.
You
No.
heard it here first, folks. The Cold War is over. Paradox
We
won.
did it. Someone fucking calls on the phone and is like, hey guys, war's over. Go home.
No, the Cold
No.
War is over.
Oh shit. Wait, no, it just got worse.
I know all of your hesitancy going into a mission like this. But the truth of the matter is that you have been called by the Federation for a reason. Each and every one of you. There is something big going on which we do not understand. And whatever it could be, even the most minor of things, could change our outlook on the Jovians and change our outlook on the war. We need to find out what is happening. We need you to do this. By late tomorrow's time, you will all by late tomorrow's time, each member of Selkie will be heading out to past colonial territory, and by then you will be officially on your own. We will have minor ways of contacting you throughout your mission, but aside from that, once we reach deeper and deeper into Jovian space, it will soon become impossible for direct communication. It is of utmost importance that no matter what happens, you either are able to get the intel of what is happening there back to us, or you're able to destroy whatever it is. This is something that has been which we have seen worked on by potentially thousands of people. Something which is taking enough energy to melt glaciers. If there are going to be no more questions for further questions or further investigation, then your full briefing of tomorrow's duties will be given by them. Dismissed.
I stand up, walk out.
Keela also stands up and walks out.
Yeah, North does the same. He's just kind of like looking around at all the other people assembled in the room. And given what he's been hearing in this briefing and what he's been able to include, he's pretty sure he knows why he's here. And as he's just sort of like scanning the faces of everybody in the room, he's just kind of wondering, like, okay, you know, like what? How did you fuck up bad enough to end up sort of in this collection of presumably military problem children? But if anything, he finds it kind of amusing. And he walks up next to Mr. Beam, and just kind of like nudges him. And he's like, if what they're working on is some kind of super secret Walker frame prototype, you think they'll let me pilot it if we find it?
I mean, this sort of job sounds more like they might let you be the one to fill the joints with Semtex.
Eh. He just kind of shrugs. Whatever it is, at least it'll be exciting.
I find excitement somewhat overrated.
Oh, you're one of those. Okay. Then you can handle the responsible things, and I can handle the excitement. I think that'll work.
We'll leave each expert to their own sphere of expertise, then, I suppose. I'll say that
Hmm.
with kind of a grin.
He returns the grin.
Y'all on what can be called a relatively small cruiser compared to typical federal sizes. This on in total, aside from the around maybe max 30 people who joined you on board, who joined you in the briefing earlier, there's only about a crew of 100, maybe less.
Damn, real skeleton crew.
Yeah.
It's a rather small ship. It's primarily meant for it's primarily meant for transport of itself.
Plus, if we could get away with taking a smaller crew, that's probably better for a secret squirrel type operation. There's fewer potential leaks. Question for you, Tired. Were the cover stories that everyone has put together and the cover identity, is that something Beam was in charge of, or is this something that the military has cooked up and is assigned? I basically was wondering if I should busy myself double checking my own work or checking over someone else's work.
I was about to say, do we have cover stories?
Well, we had the identification and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking because clearly the cover stories aren't going to hold if two people in the party can speak the language.
The identification, was done by the by somebody you've had limited interactions with, but has been doing a lot of paperwork on the other side of the lines. A member of the, let me make sure I am getting this name correctly. The Space Army. Boy,
The Space Army,
See,
Bleh?
you've already
The-
told me enough that I'm going to be checking their homework.
the Space Army Department of Intelligence. Her name, she is a first lieutenant, and her name is Yuri L. Hugh.
Yeah, I'm
And-
going to be double checking that just because Beam is. Yeah, I'm not the most trustworthy, but I trust Federal Intelligence Service more. So now that I'm not willing to place my life into the hands of military intelligence without checking off against that.
How much does Beam know about all of us? Unless I'm not supposed to know that yet, to which I will not know
That's a
that.
great question. That was going to be my follow-up question to Tired, actually. So
You would relatively know a decent briefing about every single member of who you're going with.
and have I been able to maybe connect the dots on oh, these are all people who are competent. also these are people that no one's going to care if they don't come back.
Yeah, that would probably be the first thought you'd be able to connect it to.
Cool, cool,
Beam
cool.
is a smart cookie.
And a cynic.
That also goes into both the captain and the adjutant as well. Both of who have just essentially gone back into the Sims. You do know that the both of them have served together previously. So they do have some combat experience together.
Okay. Well,
The
I'm more than willing to leave the military matters to the military types.
the rest of the day would be relatively quiet. Everybody would have essentially been sent back to their own bunks as officers. Even on a ship like this, you'd have very small, but what could be concerned as like your own dormitory. You would essentially, aside from like Beam going over any possible information, which by the way, Beam, if you want to roll me, that would be a. You can decide the role that is part of the system, but I will give you a tact investigation if you want to look over.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Oh,
What are you talking about,
And
Tyler?
I'm going.
Oh, the fake identification.
No. Players don't get to decide. Rules as written, players don't get to decide which role they say what they're gonna do. Then you interpret what would be most appropriate.
I see. Okay. I think I might be confusing early OpV with modern OpV.
This game has gone under quite a few redesigns over the years.
Yeah,
Few
because
changes.
and this is a version that's in an entirely different setting. So
that being said, I do think Azrael's gonna be if he can find it, I think he's gonna spend some time trying to see if he can snoop on any information. Not enough to be suspicious because I think he's well aware of sort of, the optics, I guess, of him poking into stuff too much where he shouldn't be. He's smart enough to know that. But if he can find anything lying around,
okay, I'm going to say that Beam, your role would still, it would still be. That would definitely be keen investigate.
Okay. I'll give that a try. Just as I basically I'm just checking the
Or keen sleight, actually. If you're working with paperwork, either or, whichever works best for you.
I'm taking the coward's way out. I'll go with investigate just because that's what I'm slightly better with. Yeah, I want to check over the quality of work here. Like how well is this going to hold up to scrutiny? I know that like likelihood it's only going to be checked by the revolutionaries, who I assume the quality of their like investigations is wildly variable. But I'd like to make sure that I'm not walking without having done my due diligence. That'll be a singular success on that check.
Singular success. Everything holds up to your eye. So essentially, it's all a mix of colonial administration. Not colonial admin. Okay, it's a mix of colonial administration with Jovian documentation. You know that the revolutionaries, especially depending on the faction, would definitely give a bit of a harder eye to colonial paperwork, but given the sort of expansion of the revolution, yeah, it's going to become apparent, and it has become apparent that what may be a colonial citizen one day is a revolutionary the next. And early in the war, it would switch back. So it's definitely held. It all holds together to your eye, but you do realize there's some inconsistencies with your origins. For some reason, you've all been varying degrees of citizenship. Some of you are Jovians, some of you aren't. It's a bit of a mess. It's not going. Even though it's a. Mhm.
I guess do I suspect that these inconsistencies are going to complicate matters for us, or is this more just like, hey, this is a detail that like might trip someone up, so like make sure to
It's
point
go-
it out to them.
It's going to make your cover stories harder. Essentially, you're going to have a bit more of a reason why none of you are really connected to one another.
Is this a sort of detail that I think would be possible to correct, or is this just we're going to be stuck with this and we need to come up with a
You'd have to commission a new line of paperwork entirely under possibly a new name.
Yeah,
Not
that does
impossible
make
to do,
sense.
but
Not worth reinventing the wheel this like close to time.
yeah, it would make things easier on your end, but also riskier.
Gotcha. Nope, fair enough. I will like mark that down as something to like deal with in a next briefing. Like point this out to people, and we'll have to come up with a plausible explanation for that oddity. Because there's what is it? There's 20 of us total. Did I get that number right?
Mhm. And when it comes to the actual Silky team itself, there's it's going to be about 7 of you.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I really just need to
Not
come up with a reason why the 7 of us are together rather than the full number.
Mhm.
I mean, you could just use the lame explanation of like we've all been traveling together. You get to know people on when you're stuck in a sardine can for a few weeks together. Like you all end up on the same ship. We weren't traveling together. We're just all here and present. But okay, no, fair enough. That works for me.
Azuril.
Dash
Uh,
me.
what? So you wanted to? Was there anything specific you wanted to inquire?
I suppose he's just kind of trying to see if there's anything he can find about like what they're gonna go, what like the actual, how do I phrase this?
Target.
Yeah, the target. He's trying to see if he can find anything about what the target is. He gets the vibe that they know more than they're saying. Or possibly like what kind of opposition they might come up against in this mission.
Okay. Is there any particular way you want to go about that, or would you rather roll for that?
Is there like a I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get a sense for like what the general technological state of this is. Is there like a central ship database that I could access from somewhere remotely?
That would. So okay, go mine.
Yeah.
Let's.
We have God talking to other God at this point.
It's
I, God, have defaulted to
I'm just imagining pyramid
assistant
system
God.
religion. Pyramid scheme religion.
so what
Pass
the
this
ship
up the
You know
God
what?
chain.
Yeah, actually,
What-
I recently saw a I think it's Zach the Bold bit where a guy's patron, it literally was just a multi-level marketing scheme.
So go mine.
Yeah. What do you want to
Uh,
know?
would the ship have its own sort of internal database
No.
and sort of internet system? No,
No.
it would all be physical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. In that case, if you're going to want any information, you're either going to have to hear about it through somebody, hear about it through the horse's mouth, or get yourself on documents you really shouldn't have.
Okay, I feel like being risky. I'm gonna see if I can possibly find some documents I might not supposed to be looking at.
Paradox, Keela.
Yes.
The captain goes over to you. Oh, you're you're the test pilot, right?
Yes.
Warrant officer. Corpo 2, right?
That's what some people call me.
Sorry, didn't mean anything by that, but you know how it is.
No hard feelings.
You're actually gonna need some of those I will say I'm spinning a narrative point for this.
We haven't
Oh.
rolled for narrative points.
Oh
We
shit,
have
we gotta
not.
do that.
Yes, we do.
gotta
I
roll
was
for
going
Destiny
to remind you,
Donuts.
but things moved. How many narrative points do we have? Do y'all have on your end, Gomer?
One moment.
Okay.
8. We have 8 narrative points. You can't spend one.
Hell yeah.
Ah,
Oh, okay. I
thank
can.
God.
Ah,
Thanks.
fuck.
The dice said go fuck yourself, Tired.
Okay. You should have the document. Catholic. You know what? Fuck this. I'm no longer being Catholic God.
You're Protestant god now?
No, I'm Sunny. Anyhow. Anyhow, you still have all your documents relating to the toy, your big toy you mentioned, right?
Yes, I do have that.
Good. I'm gonna look those over. You're probably going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the what is that, 5th gen?
Yes, close enough. I am still not fully pleased with it just yet, but we are getting very close.
Right. It reminds me of a suit my buddy used to pilot. Old piece of junk though. Hasn't been used in years. Anyhow, if you could you have it on you?
She kind of holds the pen out. I have it here.
Good. Alright, if that's the case, then I won't need to go get it then. Thank you. Oh, and
Jeez.
check on your coast. If you could, warrant officer.
I will.
He gives a nod. He's he's a Martian, but he's definitely, how would you say, he's a very sort of skinny, black-haired individual.
Mhm.
Anyhow, Azrael. Azrael?
Azrael.
Azrael.
You can
Okay.
just call him North though.
Lieutenant North.
North.
He's worked hard for that Lieutenant North rank. And he prefers that people refer to him as such.
It's Captain South.
I'm just imagining the
Lieutenant
deepest
North.
part of the rank.
If you're going to have to roll here a tax light, I'd say, if you want to sort of your only lead would be the briefing room and the associated offices.
Cool. I'm getting myself into problems. I love that for me. Okay. That's a 6. Let's see. Let's find out. Are they gonna kill me with hammers? They're gonna kill me with hammers.
You have 8 narrative points. You do have 8 narrative points. I should
Okay,
clarify for everyone.
I did get one failure. Is this a situation where if I get a failure, they're gonna be real mad at me?
And how mad is real mad? Very importantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, is this gonna look suspicious? Um,
Would you be able to talk yourself out of a situation?
well, I sure as hell can try. I have 3 charm.
Again, you do have eight entire narrative points.
Don't give it to him.
Yeah,
So
well,
it
you know
is up
what,
to you.
Kurt? Because I was about to say that gives God the ability to fuck with us.
Way
Let
by
tired
just not
fucking
letting
squirm.
I can be trusted with narrative points. I'm a good director.
Do you want 1 narrative point? You can have 1 narrative point. So then I have 1 success on poking around in places I really shouldn't be.
One success, I'd say you were able to. Okay, if you do decide to spend that, then 1 success. I'd say you'd be able to see
Okay.
in the briefing room proper the sort of presentation, sort of just hovering on in the background, and both the colonel and somebody else talking to one another. They seem distracted and in the room opposite, like sort of leaning on the doorway of the briefing room. Something you could definitely squeeze past if you wanted to, or you could listen
pretty
on their
small.
conversation.
I'm gonna listen in then. See what they're talking about.
You do that casual thing, when you're getting a cup of coffee, but oh, when I said I meant co-pilot. Keela.
I'm getting a little Capri Sun pouch of fucking coffee.
Yes. Staying there a bit too long. And what you're able to overhear is through their sort of hushed whispers. They're not being entirely subtle, but they are talking about some sort of sight, and almost at one point, like, do you think it's experimentation? No, that's ridiculous. Jovians won't even have. Do they have that technology? They are. And then, just continued hushed whispers. There's no frames on Europa, right, fighters? I don't think so. There's nothing we've been able to. No doubt we've been able to collect. It should. That being said, and then just continue murmurs like like a cartoon phone.
Yeah.
Just that static noise.
I think eventually he'd conclude that he's probably not getting any more detailed or interesting information from this, so he'll take his Capri Sun pouch of coffee and go.
Most likely,
Um,
Keela's right behind you.
So do I like literally run into her?
Most likely, if you just turn around, she's like right behind you.
He just kind of like jumps a little and he's like, "Oh, you're also here."
I was
Thank
told
you.
to check on you.
Check on me.
Yes. How are you doing?
He just kind of like looks back and forth, looks at the coffee, looks back at her. Fine.
Good. Then I've checked.
How am I supposed to be doing?
assumedly good. How familiar are you with your walker frame?
Excuse me. Very. It's carried me through a lot, actually.
Good.
I do a
good.
lot
And
of
I
my
know
own
I'm not messing with
maintenance.
the name issue.
Oh, not at all. And you?
My,
You're some kind of
mine's a
test
bit
pilot, aren't
different.
you?
Yes, I am. I've tested many suits, including Bethers and other such things.
I mean, I'd argue that any good walker frame pilot's frame is a bit different than any other one. I mean, how can you trust your life to a machine if you don't know how it works?
I agree with that, actually. Some pilots I've met would rather let the machine do the talking for them.
Well, the machine is only one half of the equation. How can you call yourself a pilot if you just let the machine carry you?
That is an interesting position. I like to interface with my machine as efficient as possible, so I learn as much as I can about it.
Hey, just to help this
I'd say I
conversation,
agree.
North.
Mhm.
Keela's machine is a prototype. You don't know what it can do.
Ah, okay, I see, I see. Um,
Because this is an
I saw
an
your.
OVA to presumably when the main series is already aired and mostly finished, the audience would know
Mhm.
it's the prototype of a sixth generation machine. The next one.
Ah, okay. So I probably find this thing very interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so he just kind of like considers that for a bit, and then he's like, "Your machine, actually, I've seen it in the hangar. I've never really seen much anything like it, actually. I'm excited to see what it can do in battle." Um, and just kind of like a glimmer in his eyes. I
Oh,
don't think
every
he'd let
time I
me.
take it out, it disappoints me in many different ways, but the engineers try their best, and I am quite pleased with how we've gotten it to this point.
Disappoints you. What? It can't keep up with you?
Not not that the machine cannot keep up with me. Many other such machines are pale in comparison. This one
Hmm.
is going through the issues of, well, a prototype state. Many little issues that can be fixed over time. Mainly the disappointment comes from the lack of certain features that were desirable. But it's reached the point where I think many Walker frame pilots could enjoy the sim.
I see. But reading between the lines of what you're saying, someone truly skilled, someone truly looking to get the most out of their machine might find themselves disappointed. Hasn't reached its full potential.
At this point, not yet.
Hmm.
There are
Interesting.
many quirks that this machine will have to work through, but they've mostly gone through many of my notes.
Um, and he just kind of nods. He's like, "Well, nine's my machine. WF9H. I carried me through a lot, and I've devoted a lot of time to doing my own maintenance, doing my own upkeep. I know the machine inside and out. I think that any good pilot worth their skill could pilot something, even if it's not exactly top of the line, and still show high performance. I think a lot of performance in combat comes to how well you know your machine and how well your machine knows you. But I don't know. People look at me like I'm crazy when I start talking like that. So
I think it is a good position to stand by. There are many different positions pilots tend to stand by, and I think that is one of the better ones.
well, yeah, there is that, and also the people who I'm talking about. Let's just say there's a reason why I'm on this ship and they're not, or why I'm still alive and they're not.
Keela kind of laughs at that. Of course, there are sometimes external factors to situations like that, but you have a point. But I shall let you go, Lieutenant North. And Keela kind of just bounces off and continues going towards where she was originally going, which was the hangar.
He probably was in the hangar, came over to figure out what the hell was up with these guys, got his Capri Sun coffee, and is going to return to the hangar, but he waits enough time for her to sort of go back, so it's not like they're going back together. Um,
That would be improper.
he's doing exactly, and he's also doing his incredible antisocial technique of avoiding conversation.
So real. My favorite
He wants to
tactic.
look. He just wants to go talk to his machine. All of these people keep getting in the way of him doing that.
I have a question, Lieutenant North. Don't mind asking.
Yes.
What is she named?
What is she named? Nines
Ah,
or Niner or 9H or just 9, but typically Nines.
I see.
The night passes soon enough, and
I would actually
in the
like
depth.
to have done something.
Yes, I was actually going to get to you, but yes. What would
Sorry,
you like to?
God, it can't be the next day. I need to do shit.
Yeah, yes, Otto.
Don't call me that.
Garnier.
Yeah. I would like to spend my free time smoking while I still can and going over a manual regarding how to use radios and radio communications.
All right. Do you actually do roll me here? This is going to be I'd want to say
My
what would this
intention is
technology?
my intention
Oh.
is to roll to improve
Yes. What do you want to roll to improve?
tech.
That's okay. That okay. That's why. Sorry. That's what it's going to have you do. Yes. Roll to improve tech.
Against a 2, that's an improve.
Lovely. Now you have 3 in technology. You actually see the from earlier the Aardvark pilot. You personally forgot her name. Walk up to you.
What's this girl's
Sergeant.
rank?
Adjutant.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing. Just wanted to say I know you're the transport. Just wanted to see how you're holding up.
Oh. I'm a lot more than just a transport.
Trust me, I can understand that I'm the back in the Sims. Sorry that didn't work out well for you. I think it was a bit rushed, and the captain has a short temper, obviously.
Just what I want in a superior officer, a short temper. On a delicate mission. And a role I have not trained particularly well for.
Listen, I don't think anybody's exactly asked to be put in this position. But hey, if we're going to be playing pawns in some wider game, might as well do the damn best we can.
Okay, I raise an eyebrow.
What? I was piloting the aardvark. You think I can do jack in that thing? I mean, it is combat capable, but not in the munition sense, obviously.
I'm just a little more surprised that you're just rolling over. Ma'am.
I won't say it's rolling over. Sometimes the easiest path for survival is the path with least resistance. I followed orders all my life. I'm still right here, standing, talking to you today. I fly what I'm told, I do what I'm told. It's worked out pretty well so far. There's just been rumors, crazy bullshit everywhere around anybody in the operation, though. Obviously, the Spear's been getting mad if they talk around the crew. You know, the conspiracy stuff, right?
Look up to her.
Is,
Ma'am, I have very little time with that. Rescuing hostages and blowing shit up and very delicate at asteroid colonies. I don't have time. I'm to go reading in the papers or from a bunch of crackpots.
well, why not? It's fun.
Well, so is blowing shit up.
Fair enough. Maybe that's the issue there. Need to give you enough need to give you enough munitions. I'm sure you could plus, Captain, all he is in a outdated suit, not that much on his feet. Good to have someone like you aboard.
Someone has to keep the stick jockeys from getting themselves shot.
Well, shot with a real gun. I know what you meant. Listen, it's best you don't spend too much time with the nose in a book. We're gonna have to get up early tomorrow, and you know how things can be if you're sleep deprived. Once flew 15 hours. Ugh. By the end
I
of
can
it, I thought I
handle
saw
myself,
God.
ma'am.
It's called friendly chatter. She holds her hands up in defensiveness, like in defense, like just trying to help here.
Ma'am, you are an officer, and I am an enlisted man.
You're right, Sergeant. I apologize. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, ma'am.
And when you say that you see the ship around you turn red, the alarms flaring, a voice crackly over the intercom. a sort of CCTV projection of a face on any nearby monitor. This is your captain speaking. Captain Armstrong. We have a report of 5 bleeps, 5 confirmed. Right, 5 confirmed widgets heading directly towards the cruiser. We've entered Jovian airspace. All Walker frame pilots to position. All pilots to position. Everyone on hand. We act fast. He keeps cutting out, in and out, and in and out.
Wait, on the intercom?
But the alarm keeps blaring on the intercom.
How?
The alarms start to flicker themselves. We have 6 dots, 7 dots. 5 confirmed widgets. And there, we will end the session.